This is a love letter to the process of photography. Fujifilm just released the latest camera, the Fujifilm X-Half, and it's not just another camera. This is more of a time machine. It's trying to get you back into the old analog days of photography. So in this video, we're gonna take a look at what is this camera all about? What is it trying to be? But also, we're gonna take a look at a couple of shortcomings and the compromises that Fujifilm had to make. And finally, we'll talk about who is this camera really for. So let's talk about what is this camera all about. And to me, this camera is all about the experience. This camera is trying to take you back to the analog days of photography, to bring back the joy of the whole process of photography, not the instant gratification that we are so used to in these digital days. And for that, it's got two ways of operating. The regular digital way, you can shoot from the screen, you can view the images, but it's also giving you film simulations, it's giving you some analog inspired filters straight out of camera, and that's it. It's just point, shoot, and that's your photo. On the other hand, it has a dedicated new mode where it's trying to emulate all of those analog days, where it's forcing you to shoot through the viewfinder, where it's forcing you to commit to 36, 54 or 72 shots before you can actually develop them. I remember back in the days when I was a kid, the process usually was like completed the roll, we take it out of the camera, and then once you drop it on the lab, you had to wait for, say, 1 day, maybe 2 days before you actually got back your prints. So that moment when we opened the envelope, it was complete surprise. It was just reliving those moments just through the photos, through the physical photos. And this camera is trying to give you that as close as it can. But also, this camera to me is all about experimenting. This camera is all about trying new things. Starting with the vertical viewfinder, for instance. I mean, we are so used nowadays to having our smartphones just being vertical. But whenever you pick a camera, the physical interaction with the object is different. By default, I'm sure many photographers just took horizontal photos. I used to challenge myself to actually do this. In fact, this is one that started for me. This is the T2i. And I remember when I used to take this camera, I instinctively went like this because I wanted to try things differently, forcing myself to experience the world around me through a vertical crop. To me, that felt differently, that felt challenging, that felt motivating. So this camera, the X-Half, is all about challenging you and inviting you to play around. But, and here's the thing, as good as it sounds, as great as the experience is trying to give you, this camera has a lot of shortcomings. This camera has a lot of compromises that Fujifilm, I'm sure, had to make to reach a certain price point. So let's talk about those first. Let me start actually on the viewfinder, on the optical viewfinder, because as good as it is, just having it vertical to challenge yourself to shoot differently, is giving you no information whatsoever. It's just a window and see approximately how it's gonna come out from the lens. The closer you are to your subject, the farther apart the viewfinder looks from the lens. But it's not only that, because it's not giving you any information. It's not showing you the aperture you're using, it's not showing you the shutter speed, the ISO, anything. So there you have the OVF, but it's not the only one. So let's talk about the next one. And to me, it's the sensor or the image quality you're getting out of this camera. Let me state things clear here. It's not about the sensor being small. It's not about the sensor being only 1 inch. It's not about the quality of the sensor, but it's when you compare it to the current offerings, when you compare it to the rest of the lineup of Fujifilm, when you compare it to any recent mobile phone, the camera is not giving you a comparable output. Then there's the issue of the flash. The first time I saw the camera, the first leaked images, and I thought, great, it has a built-in flash. It's just an LED and not a proper flash. When you look at the hot shoe, you'll soon realize it has no contact. It's a cold shoe, just a space for you to plug something else, just to plug some accessory that won't have any communication to the camera. And then to round it up, the camera feels unnecessarily slow. When you swipe down to look at the menu or change some settings, this might have been deliberate because Fujifilm wanted to slow down the whole process, but it feels unnecessarily slow. It feels almost unresponsive. I believe that could have been a bit better experience for the camera, but no, some compromises had to be made. And so yes, this brings us to the last part of the video. Who is this camera for? If you're more interested in the experience of the camera, in the tactile feeling, how it feels in the hand and how it handles physically, and the whole experience of the whole process of taking photos with this camera, regardless of the quality of output, regardless of the price, regardless of anything else, if all you care about is the experience of shooting, this is your camera. This camera was made for you. If you could have gotten, say, an X100 or a GFX, a Leica, a car, a Rolex, you can probably buy this camera and just be happy with it because it was made for you. Then on the other hand, if you care more about the specs, if you care more about the latest, having the latest and greatest over the experience, this is not your camera. Just move along. This camera was not meant for you. This is not the camera you're looking for. But if you're somewhere in the middle, just like I am, where you actually value the experience, but you're more sensitive to the price, let's remember this is $850. So hard to recommend it when for the same amount of money you can get better cameras. Not about the sensor size, because you can get actually rather good image quality from a 1-inch sensor. In fact, look at the Pocket 3. It's using a 1-inch sensor and it's looking great. So if you're in the fence there, if you value the experience but also care about the price, I'm gonna go with Paltotech's recommendation here, because I fully agree with him. You love everything about this camera. If you love the experience of it, if you even like the quality of the camera, but $850 just feels like a steal. It feels like too much. You think it could have been like half of that, like $400, $450. Then take that money, put it to travel somewhere you feel more motivated, where you feel more inspired, and take your current rig and go shoot there. Because to be honest, all this experience this camera is trying to give you, you can actually achieve that today. You don't have to look at your images right away. You can just save it for later. You don't have to take hundreds of photos. You don't even have to edit your photos. You want things straight on the camera, just first get a Fuji. But no, seriously, if you don't want to edit, you don't have to. You just have to pick the right camera for you. I've always said this. It's all about being intentional. Just choose your shots more carefully, more thoughtfully, and be more intentional with the whole process. Take your time. You can slow down. You don't need a camera for you to be slowed down. And just take that money, take that $850 and go travel somewhere, because you don't really need new gear. When I heard about this camera, when I started reading about this camera, I immediately fell in love. And the more info we got before the launch, the more excited I got for this camera. But looking at the final outcome, looking at the price point, looking at the quality of output, not having the ability to actually customize a bit more. I mean, for me, digital photography is not about the instant gratification. Digital is all about having options. And even though I don't really edit my photos, I like the backup of having them in RAW file. And I wish Fujifilm had at least given us a better format. Say this 10-bit file, how is it called? HIEF, H-I-E-F or whatever. It's still a finalized image, but giving you a bit more room for you to edit if you feel so inclined. Again, I love the experience. I love what this camera is trying to be. But there are so many compromises, there are so many shortcomings that it's hard to recommend it. So, will I be getting this camera? I don't think so. Will you be getting this camera? Tell it in the comments, and I'll just see you in the next one. Bye.